do plant growth chambers on the completely control every aspect of the environment. We can actually operate a lot of those into the hardware. So temperature, relative humidity, and carbon dioxide levels are all being controlled by the space station environment. And you guys have seen crops we might grow in veggie in the future, and then how to grow them. So veggie has LED lights. We've done a lot of work on LED lights, and it also has fans because you have to move the air, right? In microgravity, there's no and it's golden in space, it's a little ball because there's no convective air movement to supply new air. So Lucy Poulet is a postdoc here, and she's actually looking at figuring out what the minimum now and what she's doing here.
Yes, so hi everybody.
Gather around. I'll pass around some stickers too.
So as Joy said we are looking at oxygen and water vapor. This instrument here enables us to measure the CO2 absorption rate and the water vapor that and the airflow. And so when we modify the airflow above the peak surface, we are going to see different absorption rates, and that's what we're going to see here. What's happening right now on these pepper leaves, and we can take pictures of that.
So we need to understand how plants respond to all of these different environmental variables. And then some of this stuff over here is old space-flight hardware. Plants were grown in really small chambers. We had small crop chambers that would hold maybe a small canopy of plants. And chamber that was converted into a two-story vertical farming facility. And this was out in our facility on the Air Force Base site. We did all the studies to figure out how much oxygen would the crops produce, how much CO2 would they use, and how much food could you get from a given space. But in the near term, we're focusing on salad crops and just picking and eating those crops directly. It takes a lot of processing equipment to process wheat or soybeans for food, and that's a lot of stuff that we would have to how well they grow. We want very compact crops, and we also want things that are very nutritious, very productive, and it's got to taste good. So we walk around a little bit and look at some of these chambers. This chamber is doing studies with dwarf tomato plants. So these tomato plants don't get too much bigger than that. They get about this tall, and these seeds have been subjected to simulated space capabilities, and so these seeds have been brought there and subjected to simulated galactic cosmic radiation or simulated solar particle events. So that's the best way we can on Earth simulate gateway facility that Ralph's going to talk with you about around the lunar area. That will be a really great platform to do more high fidelity radiation technology. So you can see, tomato plants growing in here. So you want to go here, you can hold that door open, and peek in there, and then when you guys are done, move on down. In this chamber here, these two chambers are doing new crop testing. So a lot of the work that we do here is testing new crops to develop better crops for spaceflight. These are tomatoes and peppers, and you'll see here a wide variety of different sizes of plants. We look at their yield. We'll send those fruit off to Johnson Space Center where they have the food lab, and that's where they're going to do the organoleptic analysis and the taste testing. Okay? We've been doing new crop testing for a while now and trying to get a bigger
time. But one of the experiments that I'm working on is water delivery, and if you guys want to walk on down here, we can check it out. So one of our challenges with throwing rocks here on Earth, there's gravity. Come on over. Here on Earth, there's gravity, and we don't notice that when water goes into the soil, it actually pulls air out into it, and then the roots breathe. In space, water and air mix very differently. And I think it was astronaut Scott Kelly who got a washcloth full of water, and he wrung them out, and the water formed around his hands. Well, the same thing's happening to our plant's roots, and they're kind of like getting drowned out. Getting food poisoning because of something that we've eaten. So we're like, okay, we need to solve this nutrient delivery problem. So what we did, and what I did as part of as an intern, was we set up an experiment, and we got 3 different water delivery systems for microgravity, and we're comparing them against a nutrient delivery system that's great on Earth, which is hydroponics or NFT. So enough water for the plant to grow, and then of course energy and everything that you have in space, we launch up there. So whatever we have, we want to use it wisely or as best as you can. So we made an on-demand system that uses automation and sensors. When that sensor, the moisture sensor, gets to be too dry, it commands the water to turn on, and that way we save water consumption. Our control is outrageous red lettuce, and we do 10 plants per system because 10 is the perfect bell curve, or it's a good sample rate, and we compare the size and the biomass of the plants of the different microgravity systems to the actual NFT system. And then we use automation and different things to make them grow. Now, have you guys gone to Greenworks yet, or is that your next stop?
No.
Next stop. Okay, your next stop. I'm going to show you a little something. So right now we're growing here in our chamber room, and then we're going up to the space station. We're learning how to grow in microgravity. Eventually we want to do a moon station, and the moon is our gateway. That's the gateway to the rest of the solar system. In about 5 to 7 years from now, there'll be a moon station, which will be in a halo orbit around the moon, and they've given us a plant growth space. So they're like, say, hey, we're going to give you this much plant growth space. Scientists find out how much light we have to give plants. Well, they'll grow well enough without using too much energy, if that makes sense. So 5 to 7 years from now, when you hear about plants growing on the moon station, you can say you were here at the very beginning of it. This is it. We're getting it started right now, and that's it right behind us. So it's totally cool. I'm in between plants right now, or grow experience. Have any questions for me at all? LED lights? They are. They can be controlled. The frequencies can be controlled, so they have like light recipes. And so we can change the red, blue spectrums or whatever we wanted to do light spectrum, light experiments and stuff. But thank you
so much.
Us. We
really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, that's another thing that I work on is a microgravity simulation lab, and that's exactly what we're doing. We have centrifuges, or we have microgravity simulators. We're putting plants in them, and we're testing to see how plants behave.
Right.
A lot of that is still unknown because the only platform we have is experiment.
And has there been much in trying to grow them in sort of this two-dimensional, like in sort of trying to grow them flatter?
Yeah.
You know, because your disbursement rates would be better.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually what we're doing. A lot of that goes into a Arabidopsis. We're doing like these little.
Thank you very much.
And I would say
Keep learning, you guys. Have a great tour.
one of my favorite buildings. Start in this room. Come on out.
I believe they're growing weed in there. It's weird.
It's medicine. It's medicine. It's experimental medicine.
Yeah, really fantastic.
Sheila was through the roof.
My name is Ralph Ritchie. I'm the Food Production Project Manager for NASA Kennedy Space Center. So my job here is to really work the overall vision of food production as it augments and supplements the prepackaged food system for the missions all the way out. A little bit about that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the kinds of things we do in this room. First of all, what are the challenges? Right now, we've been doing everything on the ground and bringing our crops, or potential plants for crops. Don't worry about deep space radiation. That's going to be the next big challenge. As we go ahead and build the gateway, and you guys are all familiar with the gateway, at least in concept, right?
I know.
Okay. The gateway is a vehicle that's going to be like a little small station that's going to be deployed. It's a really good jump-off point to either go down to the moon to do lunar surface operations, or to actually send off a vehicle that goes on the mission to Mars, because we don't have to worry about that gravitational well about the Earth, because it's a lot less violent. Much access and much space. We won't need food production there, but it serves as the first opportunity to check out how the plants perform in that deep space radiation environment. So we'll be growing plants on the gateway to see how they perform, and then hopefully mating them to hardware, blending them to hardware that will deploy on the deep space transport. But it serves as the first opportunity to check out how the plants perform that serves us so well up until today. Growing plants on the gateway is only see how they like vitamin C, potassium, vitamin B1, they start degrading, right? And people with that, but it serves as send vitamins. Same thing with vitamins. There's a storage limit with them too, right? So we do that with probably novel sets of crops for vitamin C, because oranges or citrus requires a tree, requires a lot of space. They're not a viable candidate. What we're focusing on now, in some regards, are peppers. We've got a lot of peppers for the transport, for sure. Everything we're dealing with now on these microgravity flights are all pick-and-eat kind of crops, things that do not require processing and preparation. So things that are traditional salad crops, I can just take them as they grow, harvest them, and consume them right away. We can go ahead and do some complex processing and preparation either. So everything right now is pick-and-eat crops. But when I start talking about spending significant time on either the surface of the moon or the surface of Mars, now to really facilitate Earth crops there that I do have to process and prepare. So that's the ultimate end game of all this. Is I'm permanently on the surface of Mars, and I have a bioregenerative life support system. I have a plant habitat that's producing oxygen, it's consuming carbon dioxide, it's processing wastewater. Duration task. Let me switch real quick because I don't have much time to some of the things you'll see, unless there's any questions. All right, some of the things you'll see in this room. First of all, people always ask about the flowers in the background. If you saw photos from space last year, and those are the seeds that were grown here from those plants. So their parents were growing forth and then making space. And so we actually just growing those because we're reflecting the hardware. Maybe I'll get into something even different. Right now, everything that we grow in space is grown in this material called arsenite. It's a baked clay substrate. It's like what you find in a baseball diamond. It's go from something that's non-sustainable, non-reusable, into something that's reusable. The first ideas that we started experimenting with were replacing that disposable material with 3D printed substrate that the plants can grow right in. Again, the challenge in micro. So it allows water to be pulled up at the vertices of the triangle, so it's got a pulling force. The roots can access the water. The centers of the triangle remain open, so that's where the plants can get their air. So this is the kind of case where I could fly up the material, grow plants in it. Once they've been harvested, have no media. And so this is a sample. Here you can see one fully deployed of a porous, 2 minutes? A minute. Porous ceramic tube. I can pump water through it, and the pores at the surface allow water grow well. And you can see these were just germinated a couple of days ago. And actually the beautiful thing about this test rig that we have set up is that there's no pump required. This is completely passive. The fluid is in the bag here, and it's covered just to keep light off it so no algae. And the roots themselves basically cut off the root mat that's on, has grown on the tube, wipe it down, and you restart. So that's where we'd like to go. It's not where we're at yet. We haven't validated all these things operationally in space to the point on the habitats on the surface of the moon that we have a system to support that. Anything else?
Is it 3D printed substrate biodegradable?
It's not biodegradable, but it's reusable. You can melt it down and reprint it. So that's the theory behind it. Render data, we've basically looked at the mineralogy and the chemical composition, compared it to the previous simulants that were out there, which were nowhere near high fidelity enough for agricultural use. We've worked and developed a new simulant, and we've just now gotten large quantities of that. Our mixtures in between to see how does it perform. First blush is that it's been a real challenge to get things to grow in this more accurate simulant.
More perchlorates in there or something?
Well, we've actually taken the perchlorates out. We actually, the material we have is. The question is really going to come down to efficiency-wise. When I'm on the surface of any one of these places, whether it's the moon using lunar regolith or Mars, is it take more energy to make a soil out of regolith, or does it use a hydroponic system?
Just re-engineer some yeast and use a bioreactor.
The key thing is people have to want to eat involved in this, so I didn't realize how wrong it was.
Yeah, that's the science there.
This again?
This is just